There's a fantastic offer on the table for Joe Rogan. This is an offer coming from Chris Pavlovsky, the CEO of Rumble. And I'm going to kind of quote the money sentence, I want to call it. How about you bring all your shows to Rumble, both old and new, with no censorship, for $100 million over 4 years? And then he adds, this is our chance to save the world, and yes, it's totally legit. Chris Pavlovsky actually texted me with that message when he put it out, and I thought, this is fantastic. This is Rumble making a big move, and they're making a big move because they know that Joe Rogan will never be safe on Spotify. Why? Because there's a constant woke pressure for him to buckle, to conform. Now, Spotify has been apologizing to its employees. I mean, think about this. This is a high-tech company basically saying to their employees, we realize you're a little traumatized by Joe Rogan. Traumatized? This is a generation that listens to rap music where the N-word is every third or fifth word. And they go, oh yeah, great music. This is awesome. Oh, Joe Rogan, I'm so traumatized. I don't even know if I can show up at work. It's all fake. It's all bogus. I don't believe a word of it. But this is the environment that Joe Rogan has to function in. And we all function in it. I mean, this podcast is on Spotify. So, but with Rogan, because he's a target here, and I think that while Spotify has so far been protecting Rogan, Spotify is saying, listen, we'll set up a fund for the marginalized, but at the same time, we're going to keep Joe Rogan. Spotify paid Joe Rogan or has a contract with Joe Rogan for $100 million, and they certainly don't want to lose that money. Joe Rogan is a big investment for them. But, and this is the big but, what happens if Beyonce and Taylor Swift and some of the other just huge artists start pulling their music from Spotify? In that case, I think it is sayonara to Joe Rogan. And does Joe Rogan really want to wait for the axe to fall on his head? I don't think he should. If I were Joe Rogan, I would say, listen, I'd rather go to a genuine free speech platform. I can have all kinds of guests across the political spectrum. Nobody can cancel me. Nobody can ban me. For this reason, I think Joe should really think about doing this. The case against Joe Rogan is downright stupid. The first point is that Joe Rogan, used the N-word. Well, he used the N-word, but by and large, when he was talking about comedians who used the N-word, or he was quoting people who used the N-word. I remember a couple of years ago, I gave a speech at Debbie's alma mater, Texas State, and I was talking about LBJ and the bigotry and racism of Lyndon Johnson. I used the N-word. Obviously, I was quoting LBJ. LBJ was using the N-word. That's why, in citing him, I said the word. I said it out loud. I said it more than once. And kind of a Christian magazine, left-leaning, was like, Dinesh used the N-word in his speech. And it was, of course, fake news. It was all bogus because I wasn't using the word myself. I was merely citing it. Here's a leftist who claims that Joe Rogan is a right-winger. Even though Rogan has said he's actually a Bernie Sanders guy, that he's a right-winger. Well, so what if he is? But they list a whole bunch of people. They say, well, here are Rogan's guests on the left, and here's Rogan's guests on the right, and the right-wing list is much longer. And I'm looking down this right-wing list, and I see, Tulsi Gabbard. She's a right-winger. Russell Brand, he's a right-winger. The atheist Sam Harris, he's a right-winger. Elon Musk is, I guess, pro-capitalist, but hardly a right-winger across the board. Barry Weiss, who's at best a kind of a moderate liberal who's opposed to political correctness. Steven Pinker. I remember right after the election, a scene that I saw, I think this was on social media, but I'm not sure. Steven Pinker and his wife literally dancing in their living room to celebrate Biden's election. Suddenly, this guy has now become a right-winger. So this is the way in which what the left is basically saying is if you don't agree with us across the board, you're a bad guy. You're an enemy of the revolution, and we have the right to get rid of you. And I think what they're trying to say with Rogan is if we can get rid of Rogan, and we don't really have to have a good reason. We don't have a good reason, but we don't need one because an exhibition of our power is stronger if we don't have a reason. Because it shows that, listen, literally anyone, anywhere, can be canceled for any reason, or more accurately, for no reason at all. Now, Joe Rogan may decide to survive precariously at Spotify. And it looks like at this point, if I had to bet, that I think is what he will do. But I'm arguing here what he should do. And what he should do is look for greener pastures where he can get the same amount of dough and at the same time feel safer and where the air is more free.